What are your dreams? What are your wants? Do you want to grow your business? Help you crush your goals personally, professionally, and financially? Just join the conversation. What's up, guys? How we doing? It's one-on-one. We always start at one-on-one. And for those that do not know, that reason is because that's the way me and my wife used to say we love each other. So one-on-one is the most important time for me. My kids say it. Everyone says that. Welcome to the call, though. Welcome to the call, everyone watching, those that are going to be watching the recording, all the newcomers. First of all, much love. Thank you for sharing your Tuesdays with me. Welcome to these calls. These calls pump me up more than you could ever imagine. These calls are all about defining the game you want to play and how to truly get started. Like, what is it, the game you want to play? What are your intentions? And my intention of this whole thing is to help you in any way, shape, or form, but by just showing up, showing you how I've done it, how I continue to strive every single day, no matter what my obstacle is, no matter what the setback is, to try to just push myself every single day to hit a single, just to take a step in the direction. Guys, thumbs up with a heart if you're ready to have a great call today. Let's go. Let's go. Right. My hope is that you take away some of these tips, some of the tricks, and start implementing in this thing that we call your life, the game of your life. That's right. I said it's a game. Life is nothing but a game. It's a matter of what game do you want to play. Sometimes we play the game of doomsday and all we think about is doom and despair. Other times we think of joy and happiness. We play the game of vacation or having fun or trying to get the best out of every single day. The game you want to play is the game that matters. And that's how it's going to set you up. You want a game of success? Play the game of success. You want a game of happiness? Play the game of happiness. Do not get caught up. Make sure, just understand though, it's nothing but a game. Even if you have a bad day, hey, let it roll. It was just a game. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Trust me, I don't win every day, but I play every day. That's the thing. Will you play the game of life every day? I hope so. Guys, as you know, I'm Dr. Bobby Grassi, born and raised in Flint, Michigan, raised by a single mom. Raising 3 children on a whopping $18,000 a year. Hey, Malik, what's up in the house? You have my favorite. Let's go. He's got his pencil and paper ready. I haven't seen Malik in a while, but thank you, Malik, for sharing. Hey, I'm Bobby Grassi, like I said, born and raised in Flint. I love everybody that's been on the call. Malik, I love to see you on the call again. Chandel's on the call. Christine, Mariel, my group's on the call. I appreciate everyone for supporting me and being here. But this week, we're talking about a very important topic to me. It's leadership, but more importantly, self-awareness. Self-awareness is one of the hardest forms of leadership. Self-awareness is probably one of the hardest things to truly embrace in the thing we call life. So many times we try to blame other people for our actions or blame other situations for our outcomes. And we've all been there. Should I do it on a daily basis? I blame other people sometimes for the mood I'm in, or I'll blame my schedule's not right, so it gets me in a mood. But being self-aware, being truly self-aware is probably the rarest form of leadership. And don't confuse self-confidence for an honest and essential look at one's strength and weakness. Don't confuse that. Being self-confident is not the same thing. Don't confuse that, right? Being a leader nowadays is no longer reserved for these titles. Like, that's what you got to understand. It doesn't matter your title. Instead, it's everyone in the business world is expecting to be a leader, no matter what the experience you have. Like, when you show up at work, do people know you as a leader? This means that we need to train everyone around us to have the framework to develop the critical thinking skills for them to grow as leaders. Thumbs up, guys, if you know what I'm talking about when it comes to, it's not about CEOs of companies. It's not about COOs. I can remember when I worked at a GM, when I was in dental school, I was working at GM, and Chandel's on the call. No, I worked at GM, and I took that job very serious. I wanted to be a leader no matter what it was. It doesn't matter my title. Doesn't matter what happens. I was grinding it out as if I'm going to be the best employee. I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to work my butt off no matter what the obstacle is. And so I hope in your life, don't worry about the title to be a leader. It doesn't matter your title in life. It doesn't matter if you're a janitor of a building. Be the leader. Be that culture setter. Be that trendsetter. Do you understand what I'm saying? With a thumbs up. So the biggest challenge so many times is people get so stuck up in the middle of how leadership should be done and how leaders should behave, right? There's a proliferation of leadership books and training. There's many ways to learn this, yet traditional methods used to train leaders have not always kept pace with the monumental changes in the place in this world, including how to keep new generations of employees constantly motivated, inspired, and performing their best. To me, leadership is all about motivation and inspiration. Leadership is getting people to believe that they can accomplish things they never thought possible. You look at great coaches in basketball, you look at great CEOs of companies, or you look at just great people. Leadership is about getting people to believe that they're worth something more than what they really believe they are. Leadership is raising the tide, if you will. It's raising the standards. It's showing people the new expectations. But I also believe leadership and self-awareness is leading by example. When you see me at Crumble Cookie, when you see me in my dental office, I will bet people will say he's one of the hardest working people. Why? Because if I expect people to follow, then I must lead by example. Hey guys, just with a thumbs up, have you ever seen, and maybe some of my staff members on this call might say me sometimes, have you ever seen someone who's kind of a fake leader? They're more of a dictator, and then they wonder why people don't want to follow suit with them. And the reason that is they're not leading by example. It's one thing, Malik, to own a company and say you're an owner of a company. It's another thing to lead. It's another thing to show people what it really takes to be the best version of themselves. And that's what we're talking about today. Tom on the call knows what I'm talking about as far as leadership. Mariel knows what I'm talking about, right? But leadership is about self-awareness, not self-confidence. The Chinese philosopher Louis Howell once said, he who knows others is wise, but he who knows himself is enlightened. When you truly know yourself, when you truly know, that's the foundation of leadership, is your character, including your integrity. How honest are you? Do you have perseverance? Are you authentic? Like, are you truly all those things? Leadership is, once again, having high integrity, high honesty, high perseverance, and are you authentic? See, the thing with me, sometimes I don't have a dang filter. I know in my heart, I'm not cocky, but I know I'm a good leader. And I also know I fail at leadership. I'm honest with myself, but I'm pretty authentic. Pretty much know what you're going to get when it comes to me. And my staff with a thumbs up, would you agree with that? I have no filter. Sometimes I'm too transparent and I'm honest. Right. So however, leadership is always a combination of both character and competence. You can have great character. You can be self-aware. You can have great perseverance. You can be honest, but you got to be competent. You got to know what you stand for. Like, people know me now, even when I do dentistry, been doing it for 20 years. I'm pretty good and I understand the game of dentistry. I'm pretty good at being a leader when it comes to even Crumble Cookie now, because I know what it takes to really run that business. Now, I'm not the best, but I know what it takes. And many intuitively assume self-confidence is important for becoming a leader, but self-awareness is the most essential. Self-confidence is irrelevant. I don't care how much self-confidence you have. That's irrelevant. Sometimes that comes across as ego. But being aware of who you are, being aware of who you want to be, that's the most important thing of a leadership. Understanding your weaknesses and your strength. So why is self-awareness in leadership is a must-have for success? Why is that? As leaders, you need to accept that you're not always going to be right. Dude, I have a problem with that. You're not always going to excel at everything. What a concept. And that's okay. I don't always have to be right. I always tell people, I joke around, I'd rather be loved than right. Like, right is an ego thing. Right is an ego trip. Self-awareness, though, in leadership is the key to success for any organization, and it can encourage growth, adaptability, and honesty in the workplace. Now, who doesn't want growth, adaptability, and honesty? Who doesn't want to know that? Who doesn't want a leader to admit when they're wrong? Who doesn't want people to be the best version of self? So what exactly is self-awareness in leadership? Self-awareness in leadership is this: having a conscious understanding of your character, behaviors, and motives, and how these things impact your leadership abilities. Truly understanding that all my motives, my behaviors, how are they impacting things? I know when I come in, and are your motives aligned with the company's goals? And how do you behave as a leader when things do not go as planned? Guys, I'm on this call as transparent as trans can be. I'm a pretty good leader, but I fail in so many aspects of it. Sometimes, and my staff knows this, and I want you to hear this, because here's a guy who's been leading companies for over 20 years. But I want you to hear that when you even struggle as leadership, when you think you're not a good leader, but you really are, there's just some things you got to tweak. I got to work on things when things don't go my way. I have to honestly say, okay, and I'm going to ask you this question. Do you behave the same when things don't go your way? Are you the same authentic, show great character when things don't go your way? If you understand what I'm saying, that we're two different people sometimes, just give me a thumbs up. Malik, understand that. Are you the same every single time when things don't go your way? Probably not. But I want you to understand that that's okay. Being self-aware of what you need to work on is a form of leadership. Being self-aware of the things that go wrong is the most important form of leadership. Then you know how to fix it. It's the people that aren't aware. We talk about this all the time. Like, how does an addict become free? How does an addict get free? They finally admit there's a problem. So as a leader, when I'm constantly working on my skills and some days I fail and things don't go my way, I got to look at myself. Hey, how can I respond differently? Now, I was authentic, right? I was very authentic, right? Obviously, people know what I was thinking, right? I was very aware of I had, I guess, integrity. I was pretty honest, but I wasn't showing great leadership. And I wasn't self-aware of the impact and my motives, the impact I would have around my company. So therefore, I can become toxic. And my goal in life is to have the greatest impact I possibly can in this world. So that's why understanding who you are and making sure everything you do from day jump one, is it in line with your motives of your company's goals? If the answer to the question is yes, then you're a leader, whether you have a title or not. Do you behave as a leader when things don't go as planned? Do you do the things you're supposed to do as a leader? Even admit it when you're wrong. Because leadership is more than just doing everything right all the time. It's admitting when you're wrong and admitting when you need help. So self-awareness in leadership can help you. As a leader, it understands what you bring to the role. Having self-awareness means having an understanding of where you thrive and where you should improve. I just talked about that. And when your leadership and your company productivity tend to follow. I know when I'm on my A game, and maybe I'm talking to one of my hygienists right now, we'll just leave her name out of it for privacy issues. I know when I'm toxic, I can bring her down. I know when I'm not thriving, I can bring her down. I know when things don't go as planned, I can bring her down. And the reality of it is we all do this in life. We all have a tendency to when you're trying to lead, we don't lead by example, or we have the toxicity. But leadership is about growth and self-awareness. There is a huge understanding where you meet and lean on people. Find a way to lean on people. Get people to follow you that are going to raise you up. Follow people that are going to give you accountability. And there's some massive, massive benefits, guys, of having those people around you, but also becoming self-aware in your leadership. Self-aware leaders promote advancement in learning and development. And when a leader shows that they're aware of their strengths and weaknesses and are actively working to improve, they create an environment that encourages personal growth. Who does not want to have an environment of personal growth, right? Obviously, self-aware leader will encourage their team members to pursue personal growth by acting as a mentor, organizing workshops, or helping employees improve their skills. That was probably one of my strengths early on. And what catapulted my career in dentistry had nothing to do with me. It's when I started becoming self-aware of what my team needed. And sometimes I got to go back to that. Sometimes I got to go back to the basics, if you will, and say, remove yourself from the equation. If I call myself a servant leader, like, are my motives and my actions, are they all about me, or are they all about serving? Are my motives and actions, are your motive and actions in your life, Chandel? Are your motive and actions in your life, Christine? Are your motives and actions in your life, Malik? Are they all about you? Or are they about serving others? I promise you, when you become self-aware and you put other people first, that's when your leadership goes to the level. When my business changed from 1X, 2X, 3X, 4X, and 5X is when I started going to morning huddles and making the huddles about them. How do I help them grow? How do I raise the law of the lid, if you will? Leadership is a law of the lid. John Maxwell talks about it. You can only raise people to the level of leadership you are. And if I'm honest with you, when I first started out my career, I probably was a leader of a 2. I was more of a dictator. Then I got up to a 4 and 5, and maybe now I'm probably a 7. So what does that really mean, a 7? Because we can always improve. Agree with that, guys? Always can improve. That means the most I can ever lead a team is to a 6. So that's what the law of the lid means. But when you're self-aware, it has massive benefits, and it's the cornerstone of all emotional intelligence. When you become more self-aware, you become a few things. You view situations more objectively and rational to encourage better decision-making. So when you're aware of the situations, you can view them differently, you're more objective, and you have rationale to encourage better decision-making. Like, you understand, I know how to get out of situations. People go, you can predict things. No, I just know. I can view situations totally differently. And so can you. There's things in your life that you're really good at leading. There's people in certain situations that you're really good because you can maintain calmness under fire. You can maintain calmness under pressure. You can come to rational conclusions, thinking through how decisions affect your company or your family or your employees, right? You can make all these rational conclusions. You can recognize your role in the company or your culture, How do I affect my team? And what is the broader organizational purpose? Like, how do I raise them by being a leadership? I know the hygiene department in my office, they got great leadership skills. They can raise it. They know how to raise it. They know how to move things. They know how to move the needles. They know how to change things in their life. And you're all leaders. Robin, there's things in your life that you will lead phenomenally, but we don't ever say, hey, we're great a leader. We're great at this, or we're great at that. We say, oh, I'm not a leader. Because so many times in our life, we've been suppressed thinking that if we don't have a title, if we don't have this, we don't have that, we can't lead. And that is the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard in my life. Leaderships are not born, they're developed. You have certain things in you, of course, right? You have certain things in you that can make you a drive to become a better leader. Or you can look at me because I went through dental school, or I opened up businesses, and you might respect me a little bit differently. But the fact of the matter is, you earn that respect. It doesn't matter. My behavior can destroy that instantaneously. My leadership can fall so fast that people won't even follow me, right? But I'm also, you need to relate on a deeper level. Like that was sometimes my flaw. Like sometimes I get disconnected. I got to relate on a deeper level with my friends, my coworkers, to form a psychological safe environment. Like we got to make sure that we're safe. When people talk to you, Shandell, when people talk to you, Mario, Robin, when people talk to you, Christine, I'll bet the best relationships you have, even Malik, are the ones that you have this psychological attachment with or an emotional bond with. You've delved deeper in. Tom told me, who runs Crumbles, Tom told me one leadership skill, and he's a phenomenal leader. And I every time I go into Crumble, I think about this. And I need to do this better sometimes in all my fields. Sometimes we get just a thumbs up, guys. You ever been so comfortable in life, you go through the motions and you don't really realize the impact you have, or you don't really relate to that level you once did? Thumbs up if you know what I'm talking about. Of course. Tony Robbins says it the best this way. If we would treat every single situation as it was the beginning and not the end, life would change. Think about relationships. Think about a business you start. When you have that energy and that excitement and you do things every single day as if it's the first time, how much different did you feel? How better did you lead? How more engaged were you in the situation? Hopefully everyone will tell you 100%. Every relationship, we talk about leading in a relationship. And I said this before to my team, so they probably get sick of me saying this, but when your spouse says, hey, go take out the trash, when you're first dating, you're so excited to take out that trash because you just want to impress them so much and you want to get to know them so well that you run through walls. A little joke we always say is like, when you're in a relationship, how come people change after 15 years? They don't change. They get comfortable and they treat it as if you're just going to be there tomorrow. But if you treated everything the same, if you really got to know them, even 10 years later on a deeper level, what makes them tick? What makes them think? How do they behave? You will become the leader that's unstoppable. What Tom told me at Crumble, back to full circle, he says, I said, Tom, what made you so successful? He goes, I would go to every single station and I would just ask people that was doing a question. Hey, tell me about you. And if you know Tom, Tom's been in my store probably 3-4 times. I'm not getting Tom in trouble, but I say this about Tom. Tom's been in my store 3 to 4 times. And everybody in my store loves him. And when he comes in, he's this ray of sunshine. Maybe it's his accent. I mean, it probably is because, I think he's from like Britain or something, or Wales, or he's got a beautiful accent either way. My point is he's even sexy when I hear him. I'm like, oh my God, I want to hear this guy. But he leads, and he leads because he gets to know you and he opens up his heart to you. And it's easy to follow somebody that does that. And when you want to get results in your life, when you truly want to be that leader, dive deep into the people you're trying to get to follow you. Try to get them on a deeper level to understand how they tick. And I do that, so often. And sometimes I get lazy. So I'm just going to encourage us to go back to the basics and do that. Thumbs up, guys, if you think that would make the greatest difference in your life. It'd be easier to follow somebody that somebody took the time to really get to know who you are today. Forget about who you were yesterday. Like Malik, would you agree that if I got to know really what your goals and plans are now, and I helped you get there and I led you how to get there, would you agree that our relationship and bond will be a little bit different? And then you might go to war with me? Of course. So we know that that's level 1 of leadership. That's self-awareness too. And understanding how to make decisions, understanding how to make your reports, how to guide them effectively to better behaviors, not without micromanaging. Like so many times in life, we micromanage people. We don't lead by example. That's why I'm a servant leader. I'm a guy that will serve you. I will do above and beyond for you than I ever expect in return from me. Because I used to be a dictator. I used to think that because I'm a doctor, you should follow. And it's a crock of crap. Degrees don't matter. Degrees don't matter. The heart is what matters. Are you a servant leader? Do the people really think you're authentic? Do they think you have integrity? Do you think you're honest? Are you real with them? Maybe to the point where it's one of my downfalls. But leadership is all about taking it to the next level. So leadership coaching, like coaching managers, senior leaders, and executives to the next level with higher self-awareness is really what leadership's about. Guys, to me, it's simple. One, it's not cocky. Every one of us in our heart of hearts need to be aware that we are born to be something great. We were born to be leaders, not followers. Even if you don't think you can lead anything, I'm going to ask you to take the risk today and lead something in your life. Pick something in your life today that you want to start knowing about yourself. Pick something that you don't think you ever could lead, and watch what happens when you get people to rally around them. Being a great leader starts with knowing yourself, loving yourself, and being the best version of yourself. That's where it all starts. What is it that you want? Who am I? What do I love about myself? And then how do I become the best version of myself? That's how great leadership starts. I didn't start out leading people. I didn't start out doing growing with Grossi calls. I didn't start out going to dental school because I had some mentors and trainers. I wanted to be a best version of myself. So I started picking up books. I started reading what other people did. I started following what they did. And then I just started implementing them in my life. Leadership is all about taking that step. Are you playing the game we call life? Are you playing the game of leadership? Malik, do you want to lead people to the next best level of their life? Tom, do you want to lead people to the next best level of life? Whether it's your family members, whether it's just your friends, whether it's your coworkers. Mario, do you want to be the best version of yourself every single day? Robin, do you want to be that leader of that family, which, by the way, you already are, because I know you are. You're that leader of that family that everybody gravitates toward. You light up a room. You lead people through smile. You lead people through just what am I looking for? Your charismatic attitude. You lead people by your humor. I mean, leadership is more than just, hey, go do this. We all have this special gift within us. We all have leadership qualities within us. Do we want to just let them come out? If we are truly the son or woman of God, if we truly are, then why would we ever follow anybody? We are the leaders. Iron sharpens irons. We are the biggest and the baddest. Thumbs up if you understand that. We are meant for greatness. We are meant to lead. We are meant to be the best version of ourselves that's humanly possible. You don't get there by not knowing who you are. You don't get there by not loving yourself. You don't get there by not being the best version of yourself. It's amazing to me and how many times we can give compliments to other people to say, I do this all the time. Oh my God, Chandel, you look amazing. You've transformed your life. Like, oh my goodness, you look amazing. But yet we will look at ourselves in the mirror and say, we're not worth it. Or we don't look good. Or my eyes are wrinkled. Or I need this, or I need that. When you become self-aware of your strengths, when you become self-aware of who you want to be, when you want to look at yourself, know yourself, and love yourself, and being the best version of yourself, that's where leadership starts. Leadership starts from inside. And then once you figure out how to lead yourself, you can lead the masses. Thumbs up if you understand that. Once you know how to lead yourself, you then can lead others. It wasn't until I figured that out. It wasn't until that I understood that I had to live life by example according to who I want to be and lead myself before I could ever get people to follow me. We have fake leaders out there. And what do I mean? People will tell you what to do, exactly how to behave, how to perform, but yet in their own life it's chaotic. In their own life it fails. In their own life they do that. Can I give financial advice now? Yeah, I can lead that. Can I tell you how to run a business? Absolutely. Can I tell you how to work out every day? Not really. I'm working on that. Right? Can I tell you what to probably eat? Probably. Can I tell you how to lead things in a coaching standpoint? Yep. Can I lead everything in my life? Absolutely not, because I haven't done it. So it's not until you've done it should you ever lead, but it starts with yourself, loving yourself. Unfold your great leadership within yourself. Unfold it. It's a crinkled up piece of paper right now. Go dive deep and say, what is it that I want? Write it down in that planner, submit it to me, guys. Malik, submit that. You said you had a pencil and paper. Submit it to me. The info at thedentistco.com. If you truly want to grow, then let's get this thing done. Grow with me. Connect with me. Do it. And guys, tell me last time, I know this is a lot about leadership and maybe it wasn't about honesty and integrity, but are these calls valuable to you? Do you like these calls? Do you want to continue these calls? Does this make a difference in your life? I would love to hear from you. Thank you, Mario. I would love it. Send me an email, text me, show me the greatest leadership within you. I want to know what it is. I want to know, Robin, what makes you tick. I want to know what it is you want to lead. I want to know Malik. I want to know Mario. I want to know Shandell. I want to know Christine. Even if you got to tell me, I want to know Tom. Tom and you and I have talked off this call. I want to know. And come next week, we're going to talk about, this is one of my greatest things, faithful wavering. And you might say, what exactly is faithful wavering? It's exactly what it sounds like. And we're going to dive deeper into that. Truly faith, when you truly have faith, there is no wavering. But what faithful wavering really means is that when things don't go our way, we go, it wasn't meant to be. So we lose our faith. Faith is the ability to see things before they even show up. Faith is the ability to be committed to your plan, even though if you don't know if it's accurate. Faith is having faith, blind faith, whether things are there or not. So most of us have what's called faithful wavering. And we show faith when things go our way, but we don't show faith when they don't. Guys, thank you so much for sharing your Tuesdays with me, man. Thank you so much for allowing me to share any of my insights and wisdoms. And I truly hope this makes a difference in your life like it makes a difference in my life. Much love, everybody. Malik, write down that stuff on paper. Tom, love you guys. Shandell, Christine, everyone else on the call, thank you so much for joining me. We'll talk soon. Have a blessed day, guys.